ॐ त्रिपाद ऊर्ध्व उदयित पुरुषः पादोऽस्य येहा भवत् पुनः ततो विश्वङ्गवयक्रामत् शासनान् शने अभि. Namaste to all. This is Yajurveda 31st chapter, that is called as Purusha Sukta, 4th mantra. Beautiful mantra, very deep knowledge given in this mantra and in this full chapter of Purusha Sukta about the universe creation and the secrets. And here we must understand what Maharishi has beautifully written in Sanskrit when he explains this mantra. Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati in Rigveda Bhashya Bhumika, Ayam Purushah Parameshwarah Purvoktasya Tripad Upalakshitasya Sakashad Urdhvam Paribago Artat Pritak Bhuto Aste Yevetayartah. So he is trying to understand this mantra from the previous mantra. That's why he uses the word Purvoktasya. The previous mantra speaks about the universe creation, and in the previous mantra Almighty God gives a knowledge, Yetavan Asya Mahimato Jayanscha Purushah. God says that you see this universe, you will see that the earth is so vast, you see big seas, oceans, rivers, huge mountains, but earth is so small compared to the other planets. The earth is extremely small compared to the sun. The solar system is extremely small compared to the other galaxies what we see in picture in James Webb telescope, etc. So when we see today, scientists say that this universe is 13.8 billion years long in terms of length. We don't know if it is true or not, but whatever it is. So the universe is extremely vast, really huge, magnanimous. But God says, don't think that just because, people say like this, oh wow, what a creation, Almighty God must be great. Here God says in the mantra, Jayanscha Purusha, that Almighty God is mighty. This universe is nothing in comparison to that God. Because he says, Pado Asya. Asya means this entire universe. That Almighty God has created this entire universe. Padaha, Asya Padaha. That Almighty God's minute power acts on the Prakriti to create this magnanimous 13.8 billion years, whatever it is, that universe. We don't know if it is 13.8 or 100, whatever it is. So this entire universe, cosmos, is created by a small power of Almighty God. And what happens to that power is what is mentioned in this mantra which I chanted in the start, 4th mantra. The mantra says Tripad Urdhva. Urdhva means, I have explained you one shloka from Gita 15/1. Urdhva Moolam. Urdhva means in the top. Maybe somebody understood this as Almighty God stays in the top. No. This is not the right interpretation of Urdhva. Urdhva here actually has a deeper sense, because the first mantra of Purusha Sukta clarifies that Almighty God is omnipresent. God does not stay in the top or bottom. The first mantra says Sahasra Shirsha Purushah Sahasrakshah Sahasrapat Sabhumim Spritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. Spritva means he is omnipresent. He has crossed this universe. Beyond the universe, beyond this earth, beyond the sun, moon, etc., Almighty God is omnipresent everywhere. So he does not stay at one place in the top, as explained in other books which are man-made. Urdhva means highest, supreme, we can say. Tripad Urdhva. Why Tripad word is coming is because in the previous mantra, Tripada Syamritam Devi was mentioned. People have this misunderstanding that God created the world with 1/4 of his power, which is called as Pado, and Tripad means 3/4 of the power remains with God. No, God cannot be divided into 1/4 or 3/4. Please understand that. But human mind needs something to understand, calculate and understand. So that's why God has given symbolic representation of Padaha and Tripadaha. So again God is using the same word Tripadaha and Padaha in this mantra also for us to understand the completeness of the mantra, the complete meaning of the mantra. Actually Padaha means very minute power and Tripadaha means the balance of the power. We can say like that. So very minute power acts on Almighty God's minute power acts on the Prakriti, the universe gets created. But the balance power, whatever is this universe 13.8 is of the minute power, the balance power is unused of Almighty God. So God says when you see this universe, don't say that wow, what a universe, how beautiful is Almighty God, how powerful is Almighty God. You do not know, you are just seeing my smallest activity as this universe. My power you cannot imagine. You cannot even contemplate on my total power. This is what Almighty God is trying to say here. That is why we must not create an idol of Almighty God to represent Almighty God. It is insulting Almighty God actually. The entire universe itself is not equivalent to one small power of Almighty God. So how we can represent Almighty God in an idol? No, we cannot do that. That's why God prohibits idol worship in the Vedas. So in the mantra, Maharishi says this Tripad Urdhva, this power is extremely magnanimous. And he says Almighty God is this Purusha, this Almighty God is above, beyond, distinct from whatever we are seeing. Whatever object you are inferring in this universe, whatever object you are experiencing in this universe, that Almighty God who is mentioned as Tripad in the previous mantra and this mantra he is distinct from everything. He is beyond imagination, he is beyond perception, he is beyond our mind. That is the meaning of Tripad Urdhva, and he is above all. You cannot, above all means he cannot be perceived actually. He does not stay at one place, but he is above all and omnipresent. And he is always distinct and separate from the world. He stays even within us. Even within the Jivatma, Almighty God is present, but he is always distinct. He is always separate from Jivatma and the world. But he creates the world and becomes omnipresent even inside the world. And this world is mentioned as 1/4 and the Almighty God is mentioned as Tripad. Tripad does not mean 3/4. Tripad means the balance of the power which you cannot even perceive. Even you are unable to understand whether this universe which is made from Almighty God's minute power is 13.8 or 100 billion, whatever it is. So how can you contemplate that Almighty God? He is so powerful. So the whole of this universe exists in that supreme being Purusha, and this whole of the universe is again absorbed back into the cause form from which this universe was exposed. Cause is what? What is the cause of the universe? There are two causes. One is the power of Almighty God, other one is the Prakriti. So the mantra says Udait Purusha. Udait means he creates this universe. Pado asyaye habhavat punah. He creates this universe with this minute power, but abhavat punah. That's when the destruction happens. Punah means the entire universe will go back into the cause form. This universe is the effect. Something else is the cause. What is the cause? Almighty God's power and the Prakriti. So the power which is used to create the universe from Prakriti is again going back to Almighty God. That means God power is not lost. Even that minute power is not lost. It is again going back to that Almighty God. I'm just trying to explain you scientifically so that you may understand a little bit. So the power is again gone back to that Almighty God, and the world again goes back into Prakriti. Nothing is lost actually. Udait Purushaha Pado asyaye habhavat abhavat punah. Punah means again and again the same power will manifest to create this universe from Prakriti. Again when the destruction happens, the universe will get converted into Prakriti and the power will be restored back to Almighty God, which is minute of his magnanimous power. Tato Vishwang Vayakramat Shashanana Shani Abhi. So that Almighty God has a quality. What is the quality? That Almighty God is free from avidya. Maharishi writes, Tatrapi sa Purusho avidya, andakara, ajnana, ajanma, marana, jvara adi, dukkha, urdhvah, paraha. So he is, paraha means he is pare, he is above dukh, he is above darkness, he is above ignorance, he is above birth, he is above death, he is above fever, disease and other sufferings of this world. That is the quality of Purusha. Even though he resides within us, if I am happy, he does not become happy. If I am sad, he does not become sad. He is undisturbed by my emotions, by your emotions, by this world's emotions. And that is why he is called a super conscious being. And with this Samarthya, with his minute power, Punaha Abhavat, this world gets created again and again and again and again. It's an endless process. It's an endless, infinite loop. You cannot imagine, you cannot find out when was the first time universe got created. No, this question is invalid because it's an endless, infinite loop. Creation, sustenance, destruction. Creation, sustenance, destruction. Endless loop. And there's one question. Tato Vishwang. So Maharishi ask Kinchatat. What is that he creates? He creates Sashanana Shane Abhi. Beautifully written. He creates the twofold universe. What is the twofold? One is Shashanana Anshan. One is that universe which does not eat food. For example, rock or water or fire or the Panchabhutas. They don't consume food. They are created by Almighty God to give us food. So Anshan, whatever is non-alive Jagat which does not eat anything, is created by his Samarthya, his power. And whatever is the Chetan Jagat, which we are human beings, animals, plants, insects, bacteria, virus, whatever is the living Jagat is also created by that Almighty God. Remember, Jivatma is not created by God. The Jagat of Jivatma, for example, my body is my Jagat. I live inside my body. So for me to live inside my body, I need my body. So my body is my Jagat. But I have to consume the food. I will consume food, and that food is prepared by those non-alive entities. Sun is giving the energy, photosynthesis happen, then we consume the food, we consume fruit and vegetables, etc., etc. So God creates both those objects which does not consume food and also that objects which consumes food to survive upon in this universe. So should we not thank that Almighty God for giving us food, for making this wonderful creation so that we can sustain our life and also worship that Almighty God to become moksha, to attain moksha? Yes, we must thank that Almighty God by praising Almighty God in these kind of mantras. That's why this mantra is called as Stuti mantra. Om Tripadurdhuva Udait Purusha Pado Asye Habhavat Punaha. So let's understand that this Abhavat Punaha, the power of Almighty God, will manifest again and again and again and again to convert Prakriti into universe and universe into Prakriti. And that Purusha is Urdhva. He is above all, but he is distinct and he is self-luminous. He does not take light from anybody. He gives light to the entire universe. He gives light to the sun and moon and all the shining objects in this universe. That's why he is called as Tripad Urdhva Purusha and Udait Purusha. Udait means he is the creator. Tato Vishwang Vayakramat Sashanana Shani Abhi. So whenever you see anything on the road, for example, you are going for walking, you see a rock on the road, try to understand, see, this rock does not consume food. This rock is created by Almighty God. You see a running water does not consume food. Fire does not consume food. Of course, if you put food in the fire will convert the food into atoms, but the fire will not eat the food. In symbolically, we say the fire consumed the food, but fire converted the food into minute atoms, into other forms. That's the reality. The Panchabhutas are Jad Tattva, they don't consume the food. Whereas all the living beings, Sashanana Shani Abhi, Anshan means that which does not consume, and Shasha, one which consumes food. Everything is the creation of that Almighty God. Remember, Almighty God does not become this universe to consume food. He creates the universe for us to consume the food, for us to live a life here, and He gives the result of our karmas. So that's why we must understand that Almighty God is Purusha. He is avidya. He is away from avidya, andhakara, ajnana, janma, marana, jvara. Jvara means all kinds of diseases, because He is bodiless. He is devoid of the body. This is called as the conscious being of the Purusha Sukta. There is no other conscious being which creates, sustains the universe. This is the conscious being. There is no other Almighty God like, let's say, Rama is the God, or Krishna is the God, Allah is the God, etc. This is the God which is mentioned in the Vedas by God Himself. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.